Hello everyone to our channel. So today we are going to start with class 10th science of chapter 1 chemical reactions and equations. As you are looking here on the screen that I have enlisted some examples. Number 1 is your during summer milk at room temperature changes to curd. You must have seen at homes that milk converted to curd during summers. Another example is iron nail kept in humid atmosphere gets reddish brown. Similarly, the food get digested in our body, the melting of ice, chopping of wood, or boiling of water. These examples indicate changes that one substance is changing to some another substance. So basically, we are going to deal with the changes. There are two types of changes. One is your physical change and another one is your chemical change. The physical changes in a substance that do not involve change in the identity or chemical makeup of that substance means the substance is changing but chemically it is not changing. The identity of the substance will remain same. And in chemical changes, your chemical changes involve a substance that changes and their identity is changes to a new substance. Basically a substance which we have taken, that substance changes to some another new substance. So in the above examples, first, second, and third. These three examples are your chemical changes. And the another three examples, melting of ice, chopping of wood, or boiling of water. These three are your physical changes. And physical changes can be reversible and chemical changes cannot be reversible. Your melting of ice, you can convert ice into water and then again freeze it to ice. But you will say that chopping of wood, we chop once we chop a wood, it won't again, we won't get a tree again. But we can categorize this in physical change because if we cut the wood, the identity, the basic substance is wood and it will remain wood. That's why it is categorized under your physical change. And boiling of water, you can boil water, then the water get evaporate, then condensation take place and you again get water. That's why it is also a physical change. But if once the milk is converted into curd, it won't get milk again. You won't get milk again. Or your iron nail get corrode or the reddish brown thing on that, so it won't came back to a fresh iron nail. And the food which you eat, that get digested, and after digestion you won't get the basic substance from where you have started. So we can say that these changes occur due to the chemical reactions which are taking place. These changes occur due to the chemical reactions which are taking place. I have written a note. This is a note that when changes will take place, then it means a chemical reaction is involved in these changes because we are dealing with chemical reactions. So, now we are going with the definition of chemical reaction. A chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substance, which are also called your reactants, are converted to one or more different substances which are known as product. I have taken a first example, that is if your iron nail is kept in moisture and oxygen, so it get converted into reddish brown nail. So this left hand side part is your reactant and right hand part is your product. I'll explain it to you further. Now, if we want to define what is chemical equation, when the chemical reaction is written in the form of symbols, then we can say that it is a chemical equation. If the chemical reaction, remember, if the chemical reaction is symbolizes, or we write it in the form of symbols and formulas, only then we can say that it is a chemical equation. So this is a difference between chemical reaction and chemical equation, that chemical reaction involve reactant and products, and chemical equation is the similar form of these substances but in the form of symbols. So let's see some key points for your chemical equations. I have taken one equation that is from your NCERT, that is magnesium plus oxygen give rise to magnesium oxide. I have written full spellings in this. So this is your, we called it as a word equation. This is a word equation. And in a similar manner, I have written the equation in the form of symbols. This is your symbolic form of equation. So we called it a symbolic form because it is in a form of symbols. And this two I have written here and here. This we are using for balancing this equation. So I have mentioned you in the earlier page that these we have reactants and products. So above here I have mentioned that these are reactants which are on the left hand side, and these are products which are on the right hand side. So what are these reactants and products? Let's see. Your reactants are the substances that undergo chemical changes in the reaction. What are they? They are the substances which are undergoing some changes, which are going to change. They are your reactants. Like in above equation, you are having magnesium and oxide. These magnesium and oxide, these are your reactants. In a similar manner, what is products then? The new substance, remember the new substance which we are forming, that is your product, that is MgO, right? This is your product. So the reactants and products, reactants are those which are going change or a chemical reaction, and products are those which are formed after that changed. So here are 3 points how you will write a chemical equation. Number 1 is, we will write symbols and formula of the reactants are written always on the left hand side, and they are separated by a plus sign. See, we have written a plus sign over there, right? So what we are doing, we are writing the reactants on the left hand side, writing the reactants on the left hand side and separating them with the positive sign. Now another one is that we will write symbol and formula of the products on the right hand side, and if we have more product, one except one, we have 2 3 products, so we will also separate them by a plus sign. Now the last one, the last third point is your, the side of chemical equation are separated by an arrow pointing towards the product. See, we have an arrow which is pointing towards the product. So we will separate reactants and products with the help of an arrow which is pointing towards the products. Now we can also represent physical states of the reactant and product. How? Number 1 is S. If S is written somewhere, it means it is a solid. If L is written, it is a liquid, and if G is written, it is a gaseous state. So the another examples are, or another things are, your aqueous state. Aqueous state, for this aqueous state we will be having symbol AQ. If we have an arrow which is in an upward direction, see, then the product is in gaseous state. And if we have an arrow which is down in the downward state, it is formation of a solid precipitate. It means whatever product we are having, the new substance which is produced after a reaction, that must be in a solid form. Or sometimes we can say we use these arrows to represent our temperature, pressure, or catalyst, etc., for the reaction to indicate these temperature, pressure, or catalyst conditions. We use our symbols of upward and downward arrow. C. Here, carbon monoxide reacts with hydrogen and give rise to methanol. And these written G written in the bracket, G written in the brackets, this indicates that carbon monoxide and hydrogen, they belongs to gaseous state, and this methanol, which is indicating L in the brackets, it belongs to a liquid state. Let's go on the another topic, that is uh, observations that can help us that whether the reaction is taking place or not, right? So number one is your change in state. Yes, we have taken that example of curd. So there the state is changing. Milk is liquid and curd is little bit solid. Then again, change in color. Change in color is your iron nail. You can take iron nail example. Changing color. Okay, evolution of gas. Sometimes the gas is evolved during chemical reactions, and sometimes the change in temperature indicates that yes, there is an chemical reaction which is taking place. So here's the last topic for today's your what is the significance or importance of a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction has a qualitative as well as quantitative significance. Both the significances have. One is qualitative, another one is quantitative. So, qualitative means it represents the names of reactants and products, as you see, or either we write in the word form or either we write in the symbolic form. What? The reactants and the products. Okay, and what is the quantitative significance? Quantitatively, number one, we can say that the relative number of molecules of reactant and products. We can see the relative numbers of reactant and products. Then we can say that the relative number of moles of reactants and products. We can see that what are the number of moles present in the reactant and the products. Or in the last, we can say that the relative masses of reactants and product. We can see the relative masses of reactants and products. So here, this is the last topic of this today's topic. That is your how to write chemical equation. So what we have all done, that what is chemical reaction, from where we get these chemical reactions, and we have two types of changes, and then how we will write the chemical equations, and what are the key points to write the chemical equation, what are the three basic points which we have to write, and how we can represent the physical states of reactant and products, and how we can observe that a chemical reaction is taking place, and in the end we have the significance, the importance of a chemical equations. So thank you for watching the video, and if you like, please subscribe, share and like the videos and get us more and more views. Thank you.